Let's take a look. Good morning, everybody. Welcome at this next Tech Data and HPE Server and Storage update session. Let me take a look. Yes, microphone is on. Camera is on. Very good. I see a lot of you connected again. So thank you for subscribing and spending your time with us for yet another update session. Yes, it's just before the holidays. So we are planning the latest and greatest information about HPE to share this with you this week and also next week. So if you're not registered yet for our networking update session and then HCI and DHCI and management update session next week, well, feel free to do so. Today, I have chosen an update session more specifically about server and storage specifically. So let's take a look of what is happening there in the market. Okay, so you know the drill. For those who I see a lot of familiar names in the list, so that's very good. Also some new as well, so welcome. For those who connected, you will get a copy of the presentation. Of course, there's also a recording that will be made available on the website techdataevents.be. You will see as well that link at the end of the presentation. And here's my email address. There's also a phone number at the end of the presentation. If you have any questions whatsoever, if something is not clear, or if you have new opportunities, well, of course, you know where to find me. I'm Bart Jungens, and I am that technical consultant that goes out, that come listen to you and your customers and help you to find the best HPE solution, of course. Okay, so we're going to try to make it as interactive as possible in these Zoom sessions. I can promise you that after the summer holidays, there will be also physical events back again. We are starting already to organize physical events as well. But yeah, we live in a hybrid world, so it will be a mix of webinars and physical events. But of course, it's more fun at those physical events. Good, good. So I have Q&A open. If you have any questions, feel free to do so. At the end, I will provide some time as well to answer all those questions. And otherwise, here's my email address. You know where to find me. Okay, what's the latest in the server world? Well, I can tell you, for those who were there, when was it? I think in April, somewhere 2 months ago, we had a similar session. Now watch out, this is not a copy of the server and storage update of 2 months ago. It's all new content. Now you're going to say, hey, does that mean that there's a lot of new server and storage products? No, because it's only in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, there will be HPE Discover in Vegas. And there I expect some announcements about, compute. We'll see. Generation 11 servers are not there yet. Yes, they are coming, but it won't be there now because we have to wait for new announcements from Intel and AMD. You know how it goes. Also on storage, yes, there will be announcements, so stay tuned there. It's 2 weeks too early, so I cannot talk about it today yet. However, if you want to know the latest about servers, products, technology, RAID controllers, SKUs, and so on, I advise you to take a look at that session from 2 months ago. It is there on techdataevents.be. The recording is there. I have the presentation as well, where we dive deeper into the technical bits of servers and storage and nimble arrays and MSAs and so on. Now, today, I want to make a shift. I'm not going to take a look at the metal, but everything that is on top and around of it, because also there are a lot of changes, and I want you to be aware of what is coming. Watch out, what is coming. It is there today already. And I noticed, because in the last weeks I was doing back again, luckily, a lot of customer visits. And so when I listened, I saw that everybody was happy with HPE, but I noticed that the management side of installation, configuration, and then the 3, 4, 5 year maintenance, they were doing a good job, but it could be better. And so this is why I have chosen today. Let's take a look, not at the medal, okay? If you want to know more about that, go take a look at that recording of 2 months ago. But now we're going to focus on what is new and what is coming and what is there today, because it will change your life drastically. Not just a little bit, believe me, drastically, of how you're gonna consume. And I'm talking about you, I'm talking to you, the HPE partners, but also your customers, your end customers who are using daily that server, that storage, that network, and so on. Okay, so also there, very important updates that happened in the last weeks and months. And I can tell you already of what will be coming and what will be announced in the upcoming weeks at, for instance, HPE Discover as well. Because what we notice is that we have all those silos about servers and storage and networking, and then the software on top of it. And with VMware, we have even that hypervisor in between with then all my servers and then my applications. And with Docker and Kubernetes, we are now virtualizing the applications as well. So we have all those layers, hardware and software layers, that needs to be installed, configured, managed, updated, maintained, troubleshooted, with all the best practices in between. And so now HP is helping you, because now you're going to tell me, hey, Bart, I recognize this slide at least a little bit about those variables and so on, because there is a tool about which is called InfoSite. And no, this is not an InfoSite session. If you want to know more about the latest and the greatest of InfoSite, well, next week I have another session, because it also, InfoSite is so important. It's also evolving. It's not the same InfoSite as 3 years ago. So also there, feel free to come take a look and listen to that session. We're going to talk about cloud physics and InfoSite and plenty of other tools that will make your life easy. But even there, we have other things that you should be aware of to avoid of that management complexity. Because, you know, one of the marketing things of HP is we are the edge to cloud company. I see that as well. We see more and more edges. We see the cloud. We're not going to start talking about what is the cloud. There are so many clouds today: private cloud, public cloud, managed cloud, and so on. But everything in between, the most important is, where is your data? How do I get access to it? Is it secure? And is it managed? Is everything okay? Yes or no? And so this is where we need to take a look further, because it goes further as well. I am talking here about your end customer. Yeah. Not important of what they are doing. I call them, and we call them the line of business. It's that manufacturing company. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're building kitchens or engines, or maybe it's a hospital or a school, or I don't know, public healthcare, something. That's our stakeholder. They are using the applications and the data. And now we have our system admins, we have IT ops, we have that IT director that needs to have control about, is everything okay? Is everybody happy? Yes or no? And then about the applications, don't forget all those developers, those architects of how do we going to use where, what. So also there, we have a lot of tools that we need to use and that we are using already. Okay. And so this is where I want to focus on today, how HPE will make your life easier. Okay, because why is that? I'm going to switch really quickly to a whiteboard, because now I'm a technical person as well. Of course, I'm pre-sales, but in in my background is quite technical, and most of you know me that yes, I have a Synergy and Nimble Array in my garage. This is my playground. But if I take a look of what we are doing, independent of that IT ops or that system admin or that architect, is that we have a server, yeah, and probably you have 2 servers or 3 servers or 4 or even more. We have plenty of servers with my applications, with my software on top of it. So I have a hypervisor, yes, and then I have a cluster, and I have virtual machines. Yeah, and then on top of that, I have my application and so on and so on. It doesn't stop. Now, to manage my hardware, there's luckily a cool thing called ILO. Yeah, it's already there for more than 20 years. Initially, it was a big PCI card, a RIP, a remote inside board. Now, just a little tiny chip in every HPE server. And to manage that hardware, we have that ILO. And yes, there's an ILO advanced license, and you can do a little bit more with an ILO advanced license. But that's a point-to-point management thing on premises. And now, of course, if you have a customer with a lot of these servers, now I know that HPE is providing you something which is called OneView. And OneView makes a connection to all those ILOs and gives you one view on that environment. Now, of course, OneView is also, it costs money. It's a license, it's a virtual appliance that is running somewhere on your hypervisor. It costs money, so not every customer today, and I admit a customer with 2, 3, 4 servers, I don't see the real value either of OneView. This is why there is another tool. I'm not allowed to call it OneView Lite, but it's OneView Lite, but we call it the ILO amplifier pack. So it's also a virtual machine. And it also connects to all those ILOs. It's an amplifier pack of ILO, but that is then for free. And it gives you basic view of how good or how bad it goes with your hardware. Yeah. Now, by the way, I can complete this picture because here I have storage and here I have my networking gear, and we're going to talk about that later. Slightly, I'm just going to reference it, but also here we have software, to manage this on premises or in the cloud. Because the next thing, of course, in this picture is that this is one customer, but of course, I hope that you have more than one customers, that you have a lot of customers with servers and storage and networking, and I have a generalized view. On top of it, yesterday, I had a call with one of you, with one of my customers that said, you know what I did is I deployed IAP, so the amplifier pack, in our own data center. I set up secure tunnels with all my customers. And so now here in my environment, I can see all my servers with all my ILOs from all my customers. Hey, great solution. Yeah. He kind of created of what we're going to talk about today, of what HP is doing. Because now, of course, we want to give you a better support, a better experience. You know that here there is that cloud. And of course, HP is embracing the cloud because there are tools like IRS, Inside Remote Support, and Inside Online, which are cloudy tools to create support cases. And now OneView has a connection to it, and IAP can have a connection to it. And now, by the way, we're going to talk about that next week. We have a thing called InfoSight, because of course there is initially all those nimble arrays that are putting all that information in InfoSight, but now with ILO amplifier pack, we have also a connection to InfoSight, because in InfoSight we can have servers and storage, but not yet networking, because for networking we have yet another cloud tool which is called Aruba Central. For those in networking, probably you know those licenses with Aruba Central, and all those on-premises controllers, they are uploading, and your access points are uploading and getting configurations from Aruba Central. So if you're going to take a look, we have local management, we have centralized management, but it's still on premises, and then we have cloud management. But as you can see, over time, and I am the advocate of the devil, over all those years, is it really getting simpler? I only see more and more and more. And by the way, there are more and more lines being drawn on this picture of exchanging information of how good and how bad it goes. And that is where HPE says, now we need to change this. We need to go one step further, because it works but it doesn't work. Definitely not if we are talking with all these stakeholders in this environment. Okay. And so this is where I want to tell you, it is there already today, but you got to be aware of this. And this is what is announced and what will be announced in a few weeks and also in the upcoming months. You will see a lot of things changing where HPE will make you and your end customers your life easier. And it all starts from the ordering process, the deployment and the configuration of the hardware, compliancy and governance. I'm thinking about security and so on, best practices. Is it configured like it should be? I'm talking about daily management and operations, updating, right? Monitoring and analysis. How good, how bad does it go with that hardware? Yesterday, I had a call with a customer who complained, yeah, MSA is great. But the alerting and the monitoring in MSA is rather basic, and I configured email configuration. So when there's a hard disk broken, I get an email. It works fine. However, the mail server admin made a change on his mail server. Result, well, that MSA, there was a broken disk, but the mail didn't arrive because the mail server blocked that email because of changes, and he never tested it, right? It's reactive. And so he was lucky that he found out that there was a bad disk, because otherwise, you know, with RAID 5, if there are 2 disks broken, you lose data. You don't want that. So that's why I say, guys, you got to go to smart storage. You got to talk about nimble and so on. But that's another discussion. About support, and then after 3, 4, 5 years, we have that refresh cycle. Well, this is where we're gonna see how HPE will make your life easy, and trying to avoid that we have too many tools with too many interactions which are working or maybe not working, right? Because we lost that connectivity with that mail server. We weren't aware of that. And so I didn't know how bad it was with my hardware and my software on top of it. And so this is where we're going to see now how HPE will help you. And the first one that we're going to take a look at is compute. So there's a new thing called COM, C-O-M, Compute Ops Management. Now you're going to tell me, oh no, GreenLake, HPE GreenLake for compute ops management. And now you're going to tell me, oh no, GreenLake. Yet there's another slide about GreenLake. But GreenLake, this is what I hear too often. GreenLake, it's not for us. GreenLake, it's for big customers. More than 2 days ago, I heard 400K. Some people say 100K euros. I hear pay-per-use, I hear cloud, I hear plenty of things about GreenLake, good and also not so good things. Now, this is not a GreenLake session. If you want to know more about GreenLake, I advise you, come take a look, come listen to me, or invite me, where I'm going to talk about the real GreenLake, because there's not one GreenLake. GreenLake is an umbrella of hardware and software and services and cloud and a little bit everything today. And by the way, I'm not going to talk about GreenLake today, but I'm going to focus here at the bottom. We're going to focus on GLCP, GreenLake Cloud Platform. Okay, it's a portal, okay, where you're going to have access to your networking and your compute and your storage. And then don't worry, all the financial services and the managed services and so on, and the pay-per-use and the elasticity and the openness, that's another GreenLake. We're not going to talk about that. That's another session. But I need to have that one centralized platform. So here on this picture, HPE will be providing you one place where you can manage all this. The only thing is, I don't want to say unfortunately, but it's called GreenLake Cloud Platform. Okay, and then we have a few modules here, and the first module here will be called COM, and this one will be called DSCC, and this one will be still called today Aruba Central, but I think over some years that it will be called Networking Central or something else. whatever connectivity. We'll see about that. But that's the whole idea where you need to be aware of. You're going to be doing GreenLake, even without pay per use and as a service and so on. You will be using GreenLake. And then you're going to say, yeah, it costs money. Now you will see that there are some free things in GreenLake as well. Of course, it depends of how far you want to go. Just like with ILO, you have ILO and ILO Advanced. ILO is for free built-in every server, and with ILO Advanced, you have more features. Well, now with this GreenLake cloud platform, it will be exactly the same thing. But really quickly, if you ask me what is GreenLake, yeah, my take, it's very simple. And now, if this would have been a physical event, then I would have distributed little biscuits or an extra dessert at lunch or something like that. Now it's a virtual thing, so the only thing that you can win is virtual cookies. But my take on GreenLake, what you should be aware of, is that when we talk about the Microsoft Cloud, okay, for 5 points, you can win 5 points. When I tell you, give me the name of Microsoft Cloud, yeah, yell. Okay, your microphones are muted, but even then, yell very hard. What's the answer of the Microsoft Cloud? Yes, it's Azure. Yes. For 10 points, what's the name of the Amazon Cloud? Okay, yes, I can hear it from here. Yes, it's AWS of Amazon Web Services. Hey, I can move on. We have Google Cloud. What's the name of the Google Cloud? Yes, it's called GCP, or the Google Cloud Platform. Now, guys, what do you think? Yes, I can hear it. I can hear you yell. HP Cloud, that's GreenLake, guys. Okay, so don't worry. Don't focus too much on GreenLake. It's just everything that is cloudy. Yeah, portals, there is GreenLake. And so we're going to talk here, just like with Azure. We have portal.aws.amazon.com, we have portal.office.com, portal.microsoft.com, portal.google.com. Now we have also, it's called greenlake.hp.com. And I'm going to show you everything that we're going to talk about is greenlake.hp.com. It's that portal that compute, storage, and networking will be using, independent of where that server is. So let it be clear, because we're talking at the edge, all those connected devices. I'm talking about ProLiant, Apollo, Edgeline. There are plenty of server platforms running in the cloud, at the edge, or in your core data center. And this story is independent if you have a customer with 1 or 2 servers, or if you have a customer with 100 servers, or 10 servers, or 1,000 servers. Okay, so you don't have to make a choice anymore between a small customer and a big customer. We have one platform, and everything that we're going to talk is you're going to have a single pane of glass for all your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100 customers. You will see it's multi-tenant. You will see all your customers with all their servers, and in a single pane of glass, you will see how good it goes with server, with storage, and with networking. Okay, I'm going to show you. I have a demo. I can do live demos for you and for your end customers. I'll show you how easy it is. Of course, because it's the cloud, we got to talk about security. Of course, all the communications are set up in a secure way. It is simple to use. Everything is automated. Okay, that's the whole idea. Everything is automated for you. And so the whole idea is, if you have your customers only here in Belgium, or maybe they have a remote site in another region, or maybe in Holland or in France, or maybe even further, yeah, it is built to, it's scalable to manage that complexity, independent of the physical location of where that hardware is. It will be able to be managed by this platform. Okay, and you'll see how expensive it is. Well, it depends, but if you go for HPE storage, it is built in. If you have a customer with Nimble Gen 5, he has it already. If you go for Alletra these days, it's in there. All the new Gen 10 servers. Yes, your customers with Gen 10, which are already more than 3 years old, as long as there is ILO 5 in there, you can use COM, Compute Ops Management. It's built in. The only thing that you have to do is do a firmware upgrade of the ILO. You don't even have to reboot the server to start using compute ops management. And so the whole thing is, I was just talking about security. Of course, we get a lot of questions about, hey, cloud-based management, is it secure, and so on. Security is everywhere. There's a white paper, there's a specific presentation available that dives deeper in how that security is built in on the hardware, how you get authenticated to that platform. Yes, there is, of course, multi-factor authentication. I'll give you practical examples later on. But so in every role, independent of who you are and what you want to do on that system, you got to be authenticated, okay, with multi-factor authentication. Otherwise, you don't get in, okay? And so this is where we're going to manage your servers. If it's a customer with 1 or 2 servers or hundreds of servers, all those actions that we can do, like power on and power off and reset servers. And now initially in the first version, because today it's rather basic, but we can do firmware updates already. Okay, but you don't have to go to the customer anymore with that ISO file and then connect on ILO and mount that file and reboot that server and wait a long time. And of course, your customer is paying for that. Well, now you can do it from your home place. You can do it from anywhere where you have a cloud internet connection with an HTML5 web browser. You can do it even from your smartphone. You can from now on update the firmwares of those servers. And this is phase 1. Stay tuned, because in the upcoming months and years, you will see all the nice things that you will be doing from within that GLCP, the GreenLake cloud platform. Okay, it's a management tool, it's a troubleshooting tool, everything is in there. I'm going to show you all the details here, but this is the first picture. So that new compute management experience, what you had with ILO and amplifier pack and OneView, yeah, and don't worry, ILO is not going away. We need ILO definitely. Amplifier pack is not going away, at least not in the first years. I cannot promise it in 5 years, but they have a reason to exist. But otherwise, to me, and I am talking about the Belgian market, I am focused on what you need, of course. I think this will be a game changer, really a game changer. Okay, so I'm going to show it at the end of the presentation. I have a demo if you're interested personally, face-to-face. I'm going to show you all the possibilities as well. But this is a screenshot of a tool, a platform, a dashboard that is available today. I can see my servers, and I'm going to show you. I have a ProLiant microserver Gen 10. You know that little cute microserver? Well, I can manage it from within COM, from within GLCP. I can manage that server, do firmware updates, reboot that server, and I can do it from anywhere. And I get all the alerts. I'm going to show you practically as well. So it's got to be ILO, Gen 10, Gen 10 Plus, Gen 10 Plus V2, all those versions that exist today. You can see it from in here. And phase 1, indeed, we get a report with firmwares, with drivers, with updates, and if that system is compliant, yes or no. Okay. Probably, definitely the techies, you remember 2 years ago, there was a problem with SSDs. Yeah, with a certain number of 36,000 hours, and then you could have potential data loss. You cannot imagine how many customers that were calling me. Hey, Bart, can you tell me, do we have those SSD drives? Guys, I'm sorry, I don't know. It's your customer, you installed it. Well, now you can see if there is hardware out of date, yes or no, if those systems are compliant, yes or no. You get the reports. You don't need OneView. You don't need amplifier pack. You don't need that Chinese volunteer with an Excel sheet that every month or every 6 months is going to your end customer to do an inventory management, right? Everything is here in here now, okay, with COM. And so that's the whole idea. HPE was checking already those numbers of thanks to COM, we can see how many servers are up to date and out of date. You can set policies. This is supported, this is not supported. We're going to create those baselines for compliancy. You can get notifications. So if there's a problem with that server, you get emails, you get alerts. And so that's the whole idea about COM or Compute Ops Management, that it will make your life easier compared to those legacy tools. And then the whole idea is that we don't need those legacy tools, or at least much less of those legacy tools. Okay, so I'm going to show you. You got to be aware of that. Definitely here in Belgium for those remote sites, I would love to have a customer with 10,000 servers, yeah. But in reality, it's just a few servers, multi-server, but also multi-site view. So if you have multiple sites, multiple edges, multiple locations, it's very easy. And now if I'm thinking further, because by the way, GreenLake Cloud Portal, GLCP, the portal that I'm talking about, it existed already a long time from Aruba Central. So I challenge you, if you know Aruba, yeah, those access points and switches, there is a license called Aruba Central. And if you have Aruba Central, there is a functionality that is called ZTP, Zero Touch Provisioning. The idea is that technically you ship that access point to your customer, you plug it in a switch, it comes online. You don't even have to go on site to do the configuration, because the configuration is done from within Aruba Central. Well, that is where we are going with COM. This is not available today, but it's coming. Remember, I want you to be aware that one day you will be selling a server to a customer. What you're going to do is you're going to ship it to that customer, put it in the rack. That's the heaviest job that you're going to do that day. Plug in electricity and networking, and the configuration will be done from within COM. Because I created a policy, these are the settings for a VMware server, and bang, you send that configuration over the cloud on there. And now you're going to say, this is not going to work. Guys, it happens with Aruba Central. And today, if you take a look at Alletra, you know Alletra, the next generation Alletra 6000 and 9000. Well, today, if you buy, you're going to install that storage array, you plug it in the rack, power and networking, and the configuration is done from within GLCP, GreenLake Cloud Platform, with a tool called DSCC. Bear with me, we're going to talk in a few minutes about DSCC, which is the Data Services Cloud Console. Okay, and now COM is the newest, yeah, but you will see you need to be aware of COM today, because next year and in 2 years, everything on server config, initial configuration and management and updates will be through this COM, Compute Ops Management. Okay, I see a question in the Q&A. Compute management will work with Gen 8, Gen 9, Gen 10. Well, that's what I said. We need today ILO 5, and ILO 5 is in Gen 10 and Gen 10 Plus and Gen 10 Plus V2, not Gen 9, because that's ILO 4, and Gen 8 is ILO 3, or is it ILO 4 as well? And then before, yeah, Gen 7 was ILO 3, but nevertheless, today it is ILO 5. I cannot talk about that one day ILO 4 will be supported with Gen 9. Maybe yes, but today it's Gen 10 and more. Now you're going to say, hold on, Gen 10 is new. No, Gen 10 exists already for more than 3 years already. Okay. So it's a matter of time. Maybe Gen 9 will come. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't think so, because ILO 4 is already older and you have to think about the security and the communications and so on. But so Gen 10 and beyond. Okay, but all your existing customers with Gen 10 today from the last 3 years, yes, you can start using COM, for instance. Okay, and definitely for all the upcoming new servers for sure. So wrap up. Cloud experience. Yeah, it's in the cloud. I'm going to show you. It's always, your servers will be always up to date, and it will be much easier to keep them up to date. Now, I didn't get a question yet, because otherwise the question will come. Yes, it is a subscription. Okay, just like with Aruba Central, with your Nimble array, it's a little bit different because you get that DSCC license. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. With a Nimble Gen 5 support and with all the new Alletra arrays, that DSCC subscription is in the price. When you sell an Alletra array, DSCC subscriptions are in the price by default. And now COM, I can tell you, COM will be a license. It's not a license, it's a subscription, because everybody loves subscriptions. Everybody knows Office 365, everybody knows Netflix, everybody knows all these everything new is subscription based. Well, here it will be exactly the same thing. Yeah, so it will be a subscription on using COM per server. And now the cool thing is, since it is a subscription, if your customer says one day, that server, that hardware is gone. Now with an ILO Advanced license, remember, you bought an ILO Advanced license for that server. If that server was destroyed and replaced by another one, you were not allowed to get that ILO license and move it to that new hardware, because the ILO license was linked to the hardware. Now with the subscription, it's not the case anymore. I can show it to you. So if you have a subscription of 5 servers with COM, and you keep on paying every month or every year or every 5 years, you keep on extending that subscription. If one day that customer replaces that server, yes, you can remove that license, that subscription from that old server, and then assign it to that new hardware. So it's already better. It gives you more flexibility compared to the old way of working. Okay, because that's the whole idea. It's a SaaS, it's a software as a service platform. All the monitoring, the deployment, like I said, deployment, it's not there yet, but it will be coming in the really near future. We're going to do life cycle management, all the analytics. There will be integrations. There's a Redfish-based API. It's a very simple API that you can use to connect with third-party management tools. The first tools are already available, by the way. Those APIs are nicely described to connect with third-party tools as well. Now, of course, you're going to say, hey, what's in it for me? Now, you will see, like I said, it's much easier to expand and enhance the services that you will be delivering. You don't need to have all those engineers driving around to go on premises to see, is there a green light or an orange or a red light? Nope, you can do it now from where you are at home or at the office. You can see it. Yes, there's an evaluation license, 90 days for free. Try before you buy. Everybody likes that. And then after those 90 days, yeah, you just enable that subscription. Okay. And like I said, it's a business model, subscription-based management. Everybody knows it these days. This is where it is going in the future, that software as a service model. You will see it everywhere because this is also part of GreenLake, of course. Okay. Now, how does it work? Just like with ILO, I compare it with ILO and ILO Advanced. Well, here as well, you will see that there is COM, which is standard, which is, yeah, free, if you could say so. And then we have that COM Enhanced subscription. So this is what you're going to pay. Now, by the way, don't ask me the question, hey, Bart, hey, Tech Data, what's the price? We don't know it yet. It is available in the US today with GDPR reasons. It will be there this summer. Okay, I don't know if it will be July or August or maybe September, but HP promised that in the summer time frame, and it's getting hot already outside, so almost summer is there. But anyway, one of the upcoming weeks or months, the COM license or the COM subscription, I should say, will be available, of course, at Tech Data for all your new and existing customers. And so just to give you an idea, just like with ILO Advanced license, all the cool stuff about monitoring. Yeah, we can do some monitoring and support, but the complete experience about all the integrations and governance and proactive firmware updates and so on are available with that subscription. So you get an idea already of what will be possible today. And like I said, in the future, keep on following my Tech Data update sessions, because once that there are new features that will be made available in this subscription, well, I will let you know, of course. Okay, so 90-day evaluation license, it's very easy to request. It's for up to 10 devices, and then after 90 days automatically, or you lose then the functionality, or you change into a subscription that you can buy at that moment. And so to me, target markets is definitely SMB, value-added resellers, those remote edges, large data centers as well, but most of the time they have one view anyway. But to me, I see a big opportunity here in the Belgian market, because we don't have that many customers, unfortunately, with thousands of servers who are using OneView. So for all those customers who are not using OneView, I think honestly, this is a great one. And even if you have OneView for 10 servers, I think this is a nice one as well. Of course, except the customers with Synergy. Synergy is definitely, I think it's on one of those next slides that are coming indeed. This is where you're gonna use it. And there you go. Like I said, we have that red zone customers with Synergy, for instance, they will be still using OneView. Why? Because OneView is built in a Synergy frame, which is, by the way, definitely a larger environment anyway. But all those customers with rack and tower servers, customers who are using amplifier, ILO amplifier users, remote sites, mid-market, and enterprise, but enterprise is the mid-market in the US. So definitely there you're gonna use it. By the way, hey, this is fantastic. I see that indeed my colleague from the HPE team at Tech Data, Steven, confirms that indeed, there you go, beginning of July, COM will be in the price list officially. Like I said, it will be there really soon. So thank you for that, Steven. Okay, because this will be announced at HP Discover as well. But nevertheless, hey, it's good that you are a Tech Data customer. We are giving you all the latest and greatest. I see a question as well about, is COM multi-tenant? Of course, if it's in the cloud, it's got to be multi-tenant. And now you are in control. When you go to GLCP, you can create one account with all your customers underneath it, or you can create per customer an account and then put those subscriptions on there. And then you and all your colleagues, you can give access to that tenant. Yeah, now it's called a company here, but yes, it is multi-tenant. By the way, I'm going to show it to you in a demo at the end of the presentation. Okay, so the answer is yes. By the way, there you go. I'm gonna follow up. Yes, very good. Okay, so here you have a comparison about what is ILO. ILO is not going away. It's embedded systems management. OneView is not going away, at least not in the upcoming years. I cannot guarantee in 10 years, but OneView, as far as I know, OneView, there is still a roadmap far and beyond for on-premises management for those really large data centers, and definitely for Synergy as well. But besides that, we're going to have now Insight Remote Support and Insight Online. And like I said, this picture, which became too messy at the end, because everything is possible, because it's like Lego. You have to create plenty of things yourself. Well, now we're going to simplify it. We're going to create one dashboard where we're going to have that SaaS-based management for compute, which is COM. And now we're going to take a look at DSCC, and then also Aruba Central for the networking. So that's the whole idea. And as you can see, depending of where you have your systems, you will see that COM, multi-server, multi-site management. Okay, so I hope it is clear, and it's up to you to decide which tools that you're going to use. Okay, now don't worry, I'm going to show you. But before we're going to do that really quickly, is because now I told you the story already, let's take a look about storage, because for storage, what's the latest and greatest in the storage world now? If you want to know all about the metal boxes and so on, go take a look at that recording of the update session of 2 months ago. You can find it on techdataevents.be. But so now we're going to focus as well again on that complexity of where is my data? Here in the cloud, on a cheap array. I have my backup, my disaster recovery sitting somewhere on a Synology, oh my God, or on Store1, or in the cloud. I have all those users, testers, database admins, VMware admins. I have to replicate my data to a second data center. Oh, there are so many things and tools to manage my data. And this is also where HPE says, we want to help you. Now, the answer here is, again, DSCC. Now here is the Data Services Cloud Console. Okay, so what is it? It's the same view, the same portal, but now storage focused towards Nimble and Alletra, and you will see what will be coming in the near future. But again, it's a cloud-based SaaS platform with subscriptions per array and per functionality that you want to do to manage that environment at the edge, in the cloud, and in your core data center. So all that functionality. Now in COM, you know that circle from deployment, configuration, monitoring, alerting, and so on, that circle. Well, here it's the same picture. It's not a circle, but here the idea is we have my infrastructure, my storage device. It needs to be deployed, configured, managed, upgraded, tweaked, optimized with tiering and replication and all these kind of things, right? And then I have the services, my data on top of it. Is the access to my data secure? How do I protect my data? Again, with replication and snapshotting for high availability, I need to move my data around. So plenty of things that you're going to do to manage your data, where HP says, okay, we want to consolidate that view again, that functionality in one console, which is in this case now DSCC. Yeah, and if we're going to take a look at the DSCC Cloud Console today, what you will see in there, it all started with, remember, COM, C-O-M, Compute Ops Manager. Well, the first one was DOM, Data Ops Manager. I'm going to show you in the demo. So we have a Data Ops Manager where I can see all my storage devices. That question about multi-tenancy, yes, I can see all the Nimble arrays and the Alletra arrays from all my customers in there. Okay, you can see it in one view, you can see it in multiple views if you create one or multiple tenants. That's completely up to you. But I can see all those arrays in there, how good or how bad that it goes. Of course, we have info side to have a view on how good and how bad it goes. We have a setup service, that zero touch provisioning, if you want to call it like that, to set up an array in advance. The only thing that you have to do is ship that array to your customer, unpack it, power a network, and everything will be done within that setup service. Cloud Physics is there to analyze the existing environment, to go for a new environment, and a new kid on the block. Something that I love, I'm going to talk about that at the end of the presentation, is that backup and recovery service that you can enable on top of it, which is really a cool thing. I'm going to talk about that at the end of this presentation. Now, all the things that I told you about security, security by design, multi-level security for access and authentication, it is cloud native. It's running as a service in the cloud, so there's no versioning, also about OneView and so on. And then if I'm talking about storage, there was a tool called SSMC. You need to update it and so on. Here, you don't have to worry about it. It's a cloud platform and HP will take care of it. And like I said, it's based on Aruba Central, so it's not something new. More than 7 years of proven experience. There are thousands, 10,000s of customers already in there with millions of devices under management already. So don't think that it's something new. It's only now all those puzzle pieces are coming together to make your life easier. So this is the idea about storage. Yeah. power up the device, connect it to the network. That device will be discovered automatically. And then it's with a token. So you need to copy paste that token from the device into DSCC, and it's in a matter of minutes. I have a video available, and for those who did Alletra already, in a matter of minutes, in total it's 15 minutes from power on. After 15 minutes, that storage array is ready to be used. You can create volumes, attach it to your server, and put your data on there. 15 minutes. Guys, 20 years ago, I got more than 2 weeks of time, me being an engineer, to go install a digital array, an RA8000, which was before the EVA, which was before the TripR, which was before now the Alletra array. I got more than 2 weeks to do the installation and configuration of that storage array. Can you imagine that? A customer that needs to pay 2 weeks to do the installation and configuration of a storage array. I did it 20 years ago. Okay, so all these steps, yeah, of what you need to do about the analysis of what the customer needs, and then we're going to install that array, and then we're going to update the array with change management. There's plenty of configuration and replication and updates that we need to do with that continuous monitoring, the life cycle of a storage admin. Well, this is also something that is now inside DSCC, intent-based provisioning. What is the idea about intent-based provisioning? Well, you log in into DSCC, you say, hey guys, I have a volume to put a workload on there, let's say an SQL database, that's my workload, I need 2 terabytes. You hit the button OK, and then DSCC will gonna take a look to which storage array is ideal. Imagine that you have a customer with multiple storage arrays. Now he will take a look automatically where I'm going to create that volume. He will effectively create a volume, present it to the servers, and you can put your workload on there. That's the whole idea. Also, if you say to Office 365, hey guys, I need 50 mailboxes, you don't need to take a look of where you have servers and storage somewhere from Microsoft where you can host those 50 mailboxes, right? Well, here it's exactly the same thing. Okay, so we have those storage boxes, and the system will look where ideally you're gonna deploy that storage, that workload. Okay, because it's one console that manages all your storage and your compute and your networking in there. And now, imagine, now I'm thinking really big, you have one customer with multiple sites, and in all those sites, they have a Nimble array or they have an Alletra array today. Also, to keep them up to date, you don't have to go on site anymore. You can do it just like with the firmware updates of your ProLiant servers. You can do everything remotely without downtime, because of course you're using the functionality of a Nimble Gen 5 array. That's a question, by the way, that will be coming. Which storage arrays are supported today? Well, I can tell you Nimble Gen 5. We have a lot of Nimble Gen 5 platforms out there. Yes, you can use DSCC for free. You don't even need that subscription, and all the Alletra arrays. Now the question will be coming, what about MSA? Nope, MSA is not there yet. Why not? Because for this you need smart storage array, and an MSA is a really good storage array and it is performant, but it's not that smart yet. So MSA is not in here yet. Okay, so today I'm talking about Nimble Gen 5 and Alletra 6000 and Alletra 9000. Okay, and definitely I know that there are a lot of Nimble Gen 5 customers out there. This is something that you can add on top of it, because like I said, I have a Gen 5 Nimble array in my garage, no additional charge. So for all new and existing systems, the only thing that you need is Nimble OS 6.0.0.300. By the way, there is a 400 already out there, and so all the models listed in here, the only thing that you have to do is an online update of that Nimble OS software. And at that moment, you create a free account on greenlake.hpe.com. And I'm going to show it in a minute in my demo. But so what you have to do is you have to log in info site, and you have to do the following. I'm not going to read everything because it's nicely documented as well. And you will get a copy of the presentation. You need it to go. It's GA now. It's generally available. So you just have to update the software of your Nimble array. And then what you need to do is, this is the magic thing. This is your Nimble on-premises built-in embedded management portal. You just have to go. It's a really strange location, I admit. It's really strange. You have to go to customization. So in administration, customization, and now there's a new tab called DSCC Data Services Cloud Console, and you just have to connect it. You just toggle that switch in here, put it connected, and then you will get here a subscription key. After a few minutes, it takes 2-3 minutes to set up that secure channel with greenlake.hpe.com. Then you will get a subscription key, and it's that subscription key that you need to copy paste in your greenlake.hpe.com account. And there's a button called onboard devices. I'll show you in my demo, and then you have to copy paste that subscription key in there. And from that moment on, you can manage, you can see everything from your Nimble Gen 5 array in DSCC without even that additional subscription, because it's part of the Nimble support that you sold with the Nimble array. Then I give you a little bit more information about the communications. Like I said, everything is secure with signed certificates and so on. You don't have to worry too much about that. And there you go. This is what you need to do. You just have to go to greenlake.hpe.com. And then what you need to do is, there's an application called DSCC. You enable that application in an app store. You know the app store experience from your smartphone. And then you just have to go to manage roles, because by default, who are you? I can create a greenlake.hpe.com account. Of course, I have to define that I am a storage admin or a backup admin, or I am the overall admin. So it's also that question on multi-tenancy. It goes even further. Role-based access control. Yes, RBAC. Yes, it is in there as well. So you can create roles. Yeah, who is doing what? Hey, your colleague, you are responsible for customer A, B, and C, but you cannot connect to customer D, E, and F. Yes, this is all possible. So you have that complete granular configuration in there. Yeah, so this is how it looks like. I'm going to show you live as well. But so DSCC, you can see your multiple devices in here under the device management. There are plenty of consoles in there. And here you can see it. Add the devices. You can add a networking device. That's an Aruba access point. A storage device. That's Nimble Gen 5 and Alletra. And a compute device. That is a server with ILO 5. And then you're going to add the licenses, the subscription keys for COM or for DSCC or for Aruba Central. I see a question. If DSCC is enabled, we can still manage the storage locally, I guess. Nice stuff in case of an internet issue. Of course, this was one of the first complaints. Oh my God, cloud-based management. What if a customer loses his internet connection? Oh my God, everything will go down. Of course not. Of course not. Yes, on my Nimble array, I still have local management. And if I create a volume on my Nimble Gen 5, I will see it in DSCC. If someone connects to DSCC and creates a volume in DSCC, it will be created on the local user interface. Of course, yes. Yes, so it works in both ways. Luckily, of course. But very good question, by the way. And the answer is yes. Also with COM, if you lose internet access, of course, you still connect to the ILO and you can do firmware update management and reboot servers with a local ILO, of course, right? So it's really an add-on on top of it. Very good question. By the way, I'm going to show you, but this is then how it likes. If you're interested in videos, here are links. You're going to get a copy of the presentation anyway, or just YouTube it, and you will find more information about CALM and about DSCC of how easy it actually is. By the way, I can tell you, because you guys, you know, I am a trainer. I'm doing also the certification for HPE and so on. I can tell you there is no training on CALM or on DSCC. Yeah, there are some trainings who are covering it, but to get started with DSCC, there's no training that you need to attend. It's so easy, actually. Everything is nicely explained. Good. Now, before we're going to go to the demo, yeah, what's next? Hey, Bart, this is cool. Yeah, but what's next? Now, like I said, it's thanks to this cloud platform, because this is only the start. Okay, believe me, keep on registering for all those update sessions, because there is a lot of things that are coming. Yeah. For instance, I don't say that all your customers will be interested in a thing called storage as a service. It's called GreenLake for block storage. It was announced in March. It will be available this summer. Yeah. And it is like your customer going to the cloud and he says, I need 10 terabyte. Well, now with GreenLake for block storage, it will be exactly the same thing. The customer is paying per terabyte, pay per use. Yeah, that's one of those other GreenLakes. But the system is on premises in our own data center. So what will happen is HPE will install an Alletra storage array in your data center or in the data center from your customer. You or your customer will go to greenlake.hpe.com and he says, I'm going to create a volume of 2 terabyte or 5 or 10 terabyte to put Oracle on there. Click OK. And from that moment on, he will get an invoice from you, of course, because you are the partner who is reselling that GreenLake deal, of course. And you will get a percentage on how much that user, that end customer is consuming. Okay, so you're not selling an Alletra array anymore. You're selling storage under GreenLake umbrella. But for that, of course, you need to get started with DSCC, with GLCP, with GreenLake cloud portal, of course, right? But this is announced. By the way, I'm not going to dive into the details. This will be another session. So in September timeframe, I was talking already about this with a few of you partners out there. But so, because now you're going to ask me, hey, this is cool. Yeah, this is actually cool, but you should know there are some minima. Of course, the minimum, I can tell you, 15 terabytes. So if you have a customer that needs 2 or 3 or 4 terabyte, forget it. So this is a no-go already. The absolute minimum is 15 terabyte, but from 15 terabyte on, this could be a really fun thing to sell. You're not selling gear anymore. You're selling 15 terabyte as a service. Okay, but don't worry too much. All the details, this is another session that we will be doing, but that's the whole idea. At that moment, it's all about storage as a service. Okay, but the cool thing is that you can deliver guarantees, because this will be based on Alletra 6000 or Alletra 9000, where your customer will have a 6 nines of availability, and with Alletra 9000 you will get 100% of availability, which is something that you will never get with storage as a service delivered by a public cloud provider. So if you go to a public cloud provider, they will never be able to give more than 4 nines of availability to run that storage, hey, at Amazon or at Azure or at Google, whatever, something. And also to manage this, there's quite a lot of complexity. And this is how it looks like. Can you imagine your customer is going to greenlake.hpe.com. He says, hey, I want to create a volume. Is it business critical or mission critical? Business critical is 6 nines of availability. Mission critical is 100% availability. Now, I know, because I'm a techie, I know this. If he chooses business critical, the volume will be created on Alletra 6000. If he chooses mission critical, at that moment, the volume will be created on Alletra 9000. Yes, this is fantastic. This is a customer that has an Alletra 6000 and 9000 in his data center. But now that customer is going just like with the cloud. Hey guys, hey, I am on Netflix and I want to see some movies. I just go to Netflix, I create that subscription, and bang, there you go. Here's exactly the same. I don't care about storage. I need a volume of 10 terabyte for that workload on there, and I hit continue. Bang, the volume gets created on the right storage device, and it gets connected to all the servers that he selected in here when he selected that workload. And at that moment, he will get an invoice for what he is using. Okay, and of course, you will get a nice percentage on this, just like you are selling Office 365. Now you will be selling storage as a service. Okay, now that's the whole idea. Or you're gonna do it yourself and you're gonna deliver the services and you're gonna do the installation and you're gonna do the configuration, or it will be a self-service storage as a service. So you have both of the combination. So I don't say that this will be the future. It's just a nice add-on of services that you will be selling to a subset of your customers. The only thing is, know that it is coming. It's coming. It is there. You will be able this summer. It will be available here in Europe. And then the next nice thing that I love a lot, I was testing it in the past weeks for HPE, and I must admit, I love it. It works, is data protection as a service. Now, you know data protection, and I hope that you are delivering already data protection with Veeam or with other platforms and so on. But you have to provide Veeam. You have to configure it. You have to set it up. You need to have a backup target on premises. Let it be a Synology or even better, a store once, or a server with just a bunch of disks in there. And then also with Veeam Cloud Connect, have a copy in the cloud as well. Now, these are all things that you need to do. Keep on doing it, guys. Keep on doing it. But in specific situations, know that there are customers where you can go now and you can deliver data protection as a service. Yeah. And there's a really nice thing that you're going to see in this slide is, what is it? In less than 5 minutes, in 3 steps. Yeah. That's how long it takes to deliver backup and recovery for a virtual machine. Because in reality, and if you don't believe me, I did the demos already to a few of you guys already, and otherwise call me, we're going to sit together. I'll show you if we still have the time. Yeah, maybe I can do a quick demo as well, the interface. But the idea is, hey, Mr. Customer, I can see your virtual machines, because that's why it takes 5 minutes. I need to make a connection to your virtual machines. By the way, today it's VMware only. Yeah, so today VMware only. It's coming for other hypervisors as well. But if you have VMware, we're going to connect to your vCenter, secure connection. I can see your virtual machines. Then we're going to create a policy. Takes 1 minute. I have a policy where I can define how many copies you want to keep on the hypervisor, because we can make hypervisor snapshots. How many snapshots that you're going to take on the Nimble array, because by the way, it's ideal if you have Nimble arrays as well, or Alletra, then we have Nimble snapshotting integrated as well. Then we can provide a copy locally. If you have a server with just a bunch of disks in there, you can have a local copy outside the hypervisor as well, on premises and also in the cloud. So the HPE cloud, you're going to pay per terabyte of how many that you use, and then you can have a copy there. That's my policy. How many copies here, there, and there. That's a one-time action. I create my policy. And then, Mr. Customer, you go to your virtual machine. You don't even have to do it. That's the cool thing about it. Your customer, he goes to this interface. He says, hey, I have 5 or 10 or 20 virtual machines. I want to make a backup of it. So check, 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 check. And then there's a button called Protect. You hit the button Protect. Even my boy of 11 years old can do it. Hit the Protect button, and then he will ask me with which policy. The policy defines how many copies where, right? And then I hit OK. bang, there you go. 5 minutes, 3 steps. From that moment on, those virtual machines that your customer selected will be protected locally and outside the system and in the cloud. And what's the cool thing? From that moment on, for you, ka-ching, 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 because you are reselling those subscription services. And you know how it goes with Office and with Netflix and all those other services out there. Once that you get started small, it's very easy. That customer that says, hey, I have 2 more virtual machines, ka-ching, ka-ching, 2 checkboxes, 5 minutes, data is protected. He can recover that VM in a very easy way, but you are selling services. You don't have to care anymore about Veeam and store ones and the data cloud console connection and so on with Cloud Connect, because it's built in. You're going to deliver backup as a service. And this will be available as well really soon here in Belgium as well. It's available in the US. Again, it's with GDPR that HP is creating now all those cloud repositories here in Europe as well. So we're talking here about backup. Okay. By the way, disaster recovery is coming as well. You will see Zerto, HP acquired Zerto a few months ago, earlier this year. Well, the Zerto integration, so Zerto as a service will be technically a disaster recovery as a service. So that is coming as well. This is how it looks like. Very easy to do. And now these are the 3 steps. I told you something about that protection policy that you have to create. It's a one-time action. And then you're going to apply that protection policy to that protection group. And a protection group is a group of 1 or multiple virtual machines. Less than 5 minutes, and you are offering data protection as a service. And now what's the cool thing? Now we're going to say, hey, Bart, this must be a customer with a Nimble Gen 5 array or an Alletra array. Well, that was phase 1. Yeah, at launch, it had to be a DSCC managed storage. But now I was at the beta. I was part of the beta testing in the group. Any storage. And when I say any storage, that means any storage. So if you have a customer with Dell servers running VMware, with a Lenovo or EMC storage, with Cisco switches, nothing from HPE, even then, as long as he's running VMware, you can sell those backup and recovery subscriptions. Okay, so that's really cool. I tested it. It works. Yeah, my virtual machine that was running on a Synology, yeah, it's my play garden here. I was testing it. Even then, I could protect my virtual machine, which was running on non-HPE storage. How cool is that? Okay, but that's the thing, guys. This is not applicable for all customers, but I want you to be aware that this is possible thanks to what? It all starts back again with GreenLake Cloud Portal. Okay, you need to have a free account on the GreenLake Cloud Portal, which is greenlake.hp.com. And then you can put your Nimble in there. You can put your ILO 5 in there. You can put your Aruba in there. But you will see one of those styles is backup and recovery as a service. And now, this is what's coming. Some of them will be there in a few months. Some of them will be in a few years. But just to give you an idea, I told you about Data Ops Manager. I told you about disaster recovery and backup recovery. This is Zerto. This is BNR. Yeah, a block service is there as well. Right now, it was announced and it will be there this summer as well. Now, I cannot talk about dates. Some of them will be weeks, some of them will be months, some of them will be years. But look at that. You know which are the HCI products from HPE? Yep. And one day, I don't know when, I have seen a beta demo already of it, so at least they're working on it. But can you imagine that now you can manage your SimpliVity and your DHCI environment from within the cloud from GLCP, GreenLake Cloud Portal? Storage Fabric managers, edge devices. Which edge devices do we have? Come on, you should know that. Object storage, analytics, AI, machine learning, dev and dest, copy data management, setting up replication between sites, and so on. I have seen a much bigger picture of this one as well on the long term. Everything will be available as a service at HPE. Does that mean that you have to take it? Of course not. We still have local management as well. But you will be selling more and more services. And why will you be selling more and more services? The thing is, once that you are in that service, people keep on paying for it. Yeah, they don't stop it. I challenge you, how many started with Netflix and streams and Disney Plus and so on, and how many stopped with it? Yeah, it's just a small amount, and I keep on extending it. Once that you are in that service, it's much easier for your customers to sell these services. Okay, to give you one idea, I have it's a friend of mine who are doing the business that you guys are doing. And they had one customer that said, hey, Bart, I need your help. I want to get started with dev and test on SAP HANA. What was his answer? Ooh, SAP HANA, I'm sorry. I'm not an expert in that. Honestly, you got to go take a look somewhere else. So you are sending your customers to your competitor. From now on, it stops. What was his answer? Hey guys, by the way, SAP HANA in the US is available as a service already. Yeah, it's a friend in the US. But you really soon, you will be able to deliver SAP HANA as a service. HPE will be doing all the job for you, of course, but you are selling that service and you get money out of it. In the US, network as a service, Aruba as a service. In the US, it's available today. In Europe, it's a matter of time that you will be going to your customer where you're going to say, how much 10 gig ports do you need and how many wireless connections do you need? You will be selling wireless connections and physical ports. Do you need 20 10 gig ports or 30 10 gig ports? HPE with GreenLake will put all the switches in the data center. You're not selling switches anymore, but you're selling 10 gig ports or 25 gig ports or wireless access points. If HPE installs 10 access points or 20 access points, you don't care. Every wireless connection will be ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Not in Europe yet, but know that one day it will be coming. And so this is the experience where we're going to get started. You need to get started today and you choose yourself. If you want to do it with COM, then you will go into Compute Ops. If you want to get started with your Nimble Gen 5, then you go into DSCC, Data Services Cloud Console. If you want to go into Aruba Central, well, there you go. There is Aruba Central. And if you have a customer that wants to pay per use, he wants to pay per terabyte or per wireless connection or per CPU or per virtual machine, then here we have GreenLake Central. GreenLake Central is the application pay per use. But it's not mandatory. I want you to understand that it's not mandatory that you have a customer that has pay-per-use. If you have a traditional customer with 4 ProLiant servers and a Nimble Gen 5, you will be using Compute Ops and data services. And that's it. And then here we have info site, we have onboarding devices, we have security, we have plenty of other tabs that are on there. And here is a button, switch account for the multi-tenancy. I'm going to show you in a minute. Yes, I still have a few minutes for a demo. Look at that. Okay. Is that clear? Because I want you to be aware that beyond Gen 10 and one day Gen 11 and all the things that are happening today out there, beyond the metal box, there's a lot of things that are changing. And so what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to give you the complete picture. You go to greenlake.hpe.com, right? You see here? Because here's a lot of information of all the announcements. By the way, I just showed you the announcements about block as a service and backup and recovery as a service. Take a look at that video with Antonio. Yeah, so all these services are nicely explained in there. Okay, this is not a GreenLake training. Go take a look there. Here, launch HPE GreenLake. If you're not a customer yet, just create an account. It doesn't cost you anything. There are free trials available to get in. That's cool. Already a GreenLake customer. Okay, sign in. Let's sign in. Gonna log in with my password. And of course, there's multi-factor authentication. So let's take a quick look in Google Authenticator, which code I have to put in here. There you go. So there are multiple tools, by the way, for your multi-factor authentication. And then I have my accounts in here. So you can create multiple accounts in here, right? So here's my account. And there you go. This is my dashboard with my application. So I have DSCC for my storage. I have Compute Ops for my compute. And I have Aruba Central for my networking. GreenLake Central, I don't have pay-per-use, so I'm not going to use that one. Let's start. We started with Compute Ops Management. Okay, so what do we see here? Now, I don't have that many servers in here. I have one server in here, which is, by the way, disabled. Oops. Disabled. Why is that disabled? You can see here, this is my server. It's a ProLiant microserver Gen 10 Plus, yeah, called ESX11. This is the serial number, but look at that, subscription required. So I cannot see everything yet on that server. Why not? Because I need to enable that subscription, but I have to wait until the 3rd of July before I can get that subscription for my server. By the way, my 90-day trial license is also requested, but I just did it yesterday evening and I didn't receive an email yet. But what's cool is, look, activity. I can see already because this is information from the ILO. Health change to okay, health change to warning, disconnected fan healths are okay, power supply things, power on, power off, the temperature, maybe I should take a look at. But here you can see, so this is information from the activity from my server. I can create baselines now because if I go take a look at the overview, look at that. Update available. So I get an alert already that there is a new SPP service pack for ProLiant, which is available on that server. So I should update my firmware and I can do it from in here. The only thing that I need, of course, is a license. Now, if you want to see it, what I can do is I can go to my dashboard and I can say here, switch account. Because I have another account here, the GreenLake demo portal. This is in the US. And so I know in the US this is available. So let's take a quick look in here in COM. So now you will see that here there is a server which is okay. This is a DL385 Gen 10 Plus. Okay, so here is a license, so the status is connected, right? There is a subscription, and so now all the cool things that you can see about the health and the processor and the local storage and the temperature and the firmware that is installed, and then the recent server activity, right? You can see all these things. And then your customer is calling, hey, my server is down. Now you can say, yeah, I can see that your server is down. Or someone pulled out a power cable or a power supply that is broken, or someone pulled out a network cable. You can see everything from on premises. And now what's the really cool thing is, now today, there's only a few basic things that you can do. We'll take a look in 6 months, in 1 year from now, you will be able to do much more things. Remember, like deploy operating system. How cool would that be? Yep, you can do it from here. Deploy VMware on that server remotely. Today, we can only update the firmware. And there you go. Here is my SPP, all my SPPs. This is the latest available. And now you just can say next on this server. Yep, do it, start the update, or schedule. For instance, now the installation will be done now, but then the reboot of the server can be scheduled on Sunday evening at 10 p.m., for instance, right? But that's what we're going to do with COM. Okay, so you're going to see all your customers here with all their servers, and you can see how good or how bad it goes with all those servers. Guys, going to make your life easy. This is a no-brainer here for most of you with that COM license, or I should say that COM subscription. Okay. And like Steven confirmed, from the 3rd of July on, it is available to order. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch quickly back again to my account, to my Bitcoin company. Let's take a look in DSCC. I still have 5 minutes. Perfect. I don't see any open questions, so I keep on going. So now I am in DSCC. So now I am in storage, right? So let's go take a look in DOM, Data Ops Manager. So I'm going to launch the application. I can see here I have one system. Unfortunately, I only have one nimble array HF20 in my garage. Guys who were asking about the local UI, yeah, I can connect to my local UI. 192, it is 106 if I remember well. So if I connect to my local nimble array, let's log in quickly. Yeah, well, look at that. This is my local user interface from my nimble array. Yeah, well, now I can see exactly the same thing, but in the cloud. I can see the capacity. Yeah, I can see the protection, how many snapshots that I create. I can see the performance from my nimble array. I can see how good or how bad it goes with the hardware. Is there maybe a software update that I need to do? Look at that. I am up to date with 6004. How about my networking? Okay, I see fiber channel connectivity. I see a management interface, and I can see all the settings. So guys, this and this is exactly the same. The only difference is if I have 20 customers with 20 nimble arrays, I can see it now in one interface. I don't have to open up 20 VPN connections to 20 of my customers and authenticate against 20 nimble arrays or Elytra arrays. I can see it in one view. Damn, this is not one view, of course. This is GLCP with DSCC Data Services Cloud Console, right? But now I can go to block storage, okay? And now in my block storage, I can see that on my nimble array, I have 6 volumes. By the way, you can see here virtual server volumes. I have a backup volume. I have ESXi. I can see here already the performance. My load balance, my performance balancing on my 3 volumes. Is not too good. There are 2 volumes out of 3 that are creating or that are using all my IOPS, and the virtual machines on that 3rd data store is not doing that much. Maybe I should balance my workload of my virtual machine. So all things that I can see in here. But now what is the really cool thing is I can go to storage. I can see my volumes in here. Yeah, so there are my volumes. And now the cool thing is, you see that plus sign? Okay, I want to create a volume. Now, unfortunately, I only have one nimble array. Remember my screenshot from my presentation where you could say mission critical and business critical? Well, if I would have had multiple storage arrays, here I have a drop down. Where do you want to create a volume? Mission critical, Elytra 6000. Mission critical is Elytra 9000. Business critical, Elytra 6000. I don't have to choose. Yeah. He will pick it up for me, select the workload. I want to create, I don't know, a Microsoft SQL server, demo SQL, whatever you're going to give it a name. I'm going to create one volume with a size of 100 gig, and I want to connect that volume to my ESX servers. Okay. Oh yeah, the protection policy. This is always something that you need. Nah, I don't want to do protection. And now I hit continue. Now he is looking, this is intent-based provisioning. So now he is looking for a storage array that can fit this workload. Yeah. I only have an HF20, so this is one recommended. If that customer would have had multiple storage arrays, I would have here seen multiple storage arrays. I have some additional options in here that I can configure. I'm going to review everything and I'm going to hit submit. Guys, what do you think what is happening now? I just created a volume, and that volume is now being sent from DSCC to my storage array. Okay, I don't have to go on site. I don't have to connect to multiple consoles to present that volume, because now if I go in here into manage data storage, yeah, there you go. Ta-da! Demo SQL. That volume of 100 gig is just created locally on premises, yeah, but from within DSCC. So the more customers that you have with COM and with DSCC, your life will be easier. And very important, if you have customers with Nimble Gen 5, for this, you don't have to pay anything. The subscription is part of the support contract of your Nimble array. The only requirement is that there is an active support contract on that Nimble array. And now, from now on, you can manage your system from within DSCC. How cool is that? Yeah. And now, by the way, I created the volume. I can put my virtual machines on there. Mr. Customer, you need to protect that volume. I still have 1 minute. I can do it in 1 minute. I go to backup and recovery. Remember, I told you something about backup and recovery. Yeah. What you're going to do is look at that. I have here my VMware virtual machines. You can see here all my virtual machines that I am running in my environment. And so now here I created for the testing, I created a VM for backup and recovery testing. And I added it in a protection group. And in that protection group, I assigned a policy. And from that moment on, in that policy, I define the amount of copies locally on the array, on the hypervisor, locally on premises local storage, which is technically a Synology for me, and then in the cloud. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Yeah, so on my Nimble array, I have snapshots created for 1 up to 7 days. And then on my local storage, which is called a protection store, hold on, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. There I'm going to keep copies as well. And then on the long term, I have also a copy in the cloud. And in the cloud, here, HPE Cloud Backup, now I'm going to keep it for 30 days. And so now what's the cool thing? It's just a checkbox. I select here when I go to virtual machines and the customer says, you know, that CentOS virtual machine, you just have to hit that button, protect. For that virtual machine, I have to select here then that policy. How many copies locally? How many copies in the cloud? And then I hit submit. From that moment on, that virtual machine CentOS will have a certain number of copies locally and will have a certain number of copies in the cloud. It takes less than 5 minutes and 3 clicks to make a backup of that virtual machine. Okay? The only thing that the customer needs is a subscription that you will be selling to that customer, because the subscription is, of course, per virtual machine. And now what the customer is going to do is here, look at that. I have all those copies a little bit everywhere. You are in control of what? Now, if you say, I have a ransomware and I need data from, let's say, 20 days ago. Okay, here is a copy in the cloud from 22 days ago. It was protected with VMware CBT changed block tracking. By the way, there's no question about data immutability. Yes, we support data immutability. So you can see that in here for even extra data protection. And now if I hit the button recover, I can recover that virtual machine on the same existing VM or as a new virtual machine. And then I'm going to call it the name restore during tech data demo, whatever, something. I fill in the data center, I fill in on which host that I want to restore and on which data store I want to do a restore, and then I hit next and finish, and that virtual machine will be recovered from 1 day or 5 days or 22 days ago. Guys, this is backup and recovery service. That's one of those services that you will be able to sell as a subscription. You don't have to do anything. So you don't have to provide local things. Like I said, it can run it's a service that you can sell at a customer with Dell servers, with EMC storage and Cisco switches. As long as it's VMware, you can do this. And this is, again, one of the services in DSCC. And like I told you, there is much more to come. So keep on following my sessions. And if you go a little bit higher, you will see in my dashboard then, you will see Calm, you will see Aruba, you will see GreenLake Central for the customer pay as a service. And what you need to do is here, onboard devices. So here you can add, here is my ProLiant server, here is my HF20 array. That's up to you. You just have to start adding devices and selling those subscriptions. And from that moment on, you have a complete view. You're going to manage your environment from your existing customers. This is not the future. Like I said, recap, Gen 10, Gen 10 Plus V2, Nimble Gen 5, Alletra, Aruba Central, all the networking devices that are under control of Aruba Central. You can manage centrally for your one customer, your tens, your hundreds of customers. Okay? Good. If you need more information, more demos, more functionality, and so on, feel free to contact me. By the way, plenty of online training, plenty of videos available on important website, techpro.hpe.com. Please go there. You can find tech talks for the onboarding. There's a demo portal. There are plenty of things, even videos. They're now in those golden pitches. They're even using videos for me as well. There's continuous learning. So this is a really good resource. And otherwise, here's the HPE team. Here's the phone number. You have my email address already, and it's hpeenterprise@takedata.be. If you have any questions, if you have opportunities, if something is not clear, if you want to do demos about all this to you and your colleagues and your end customers, and not only about this, but also about SimpliVity and Nimble and DHCI and all the other things that we have in demo, of course, feel free to contact us because we're here to help you to create even more business to you and your customers, of course. Okay, so guys, that's my update for server and storage. Hope to see you next week in the upcoming sessions next week. Otherwise, have a great holidays, stay safe, enjoy the summer, and then you will see for September and October, there will be a lot of things that will be coming. And we're going to talk again about hardware and software and services and all the cool things that will be happening that will be announced at HPE, because believe me, next week, yeah, it's technically in 2 weeks. I leave next week, Friday. I go to Discover. I have to go to Discover. But so all the latest and greatest from Discover, all the announcements there, you will be the first here at Tech Data to listen, and we will organize also update sessions on that one. Okay, so there you go. Thank you very much for your time. If there are remaining questions, Q&A is open. I will stay as long as you are connected. I will stay here. Thank you for your time and hope to see you in one of the upcoming virtual or physical sessions. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, I see a question coming in. For your example of local nimble storage with Synology local target for backup, data flow remains local or does not go through the internet. Well, that is completely true. If you select a backup policy that doesn't have a copy in the cloud, all data remains local. Yes, only the management is done from within the cloud, but technically, everything stays local. I will, you know what, I'm going to show it to you technically, because this is more technical, of course. I will organize a session about all this technically in September, October timeframe, but I can show it to you. So backup and recovery is in DSCC. So when I go in DSCC and I go to backup and recovery, what you need to do is technically, you see here on-prem setup. right? I am sharing my screen. So the first thing that you're going to do is the data orchestration. The data orchestration, it's a little virtual machine. So what you're going to do technically on your VMware environment is deploy a little virtual machine, which is called the data orchestrator. And it's that machine that will orchestrate all the data, okay? He will connect to vCenter, he will see all the VMDK files, and he will make a back of it using CBT change block tracking from VMware. And then he can make a local snapshot of that virtual machine within the hypervisor. Now, if you say, hey guys, I have another server, I don't say that's best practice, but let's say that you have a Synology over there. So you have some storage, yeah? At that moment, of course, that data orchestrator needs to be connected to that local but external storage device. It can be also an ML350 with plenty of disks in there, of course. Well, the second thing that you're going to deploy, it's not mandatory, but if you want to have a local copy outside your hypervisor and outside the Nimble array, then there's a second thing called the protection store gateway. So technically, if I connect to my VMware environment, you will see that in my environment, I have two virtual appliances, two virtual machines. And the second one is the protection store gateway. And it's the protection store gateway, as you can see here, 2 terabytes. Today we scale up to 500 terabytes. So if you have a Synology with 500 terabytes, well, that's a quite big Synology already. Call me, I can make you a better price with another better device. But nevertheless, this 2 terabyte can be sitting on your Synology, and it can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's no price on it, by the way. It's not more expensive if this is 500 terabyte. But this is a little virtual machine that will be running that has connection to that, let's say, Synology local storage, right? And that's it. So what will happen is, from within the console, in the policy, I define how many copies will be stored where. It's the data orchestrator that will actually send the data to this protection store gateway. And this is all local traffic. This traffic does not go outside. So it doesn't go to the cloud and then come back. No, this is all local traffic. So if this virtual machine is connected with 10 gigabit to my Synology, then you will get the performance of 10 gigabit. It's only metadata that is stored in the cloud, but all the rest remains local. Okay, I hope that's an answer to your question. And otherwise, yeah, call me, send me an email. You know where to find me of how this works. Okay, good, good, good. And like I said, once that the subscriptions are available this summer timeframe, then come back in September, October, and then we're gonna organize a more detailed session on this where I will show you the complete flow as well. Very good. If there are other questions, I still see people connected. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And otherwise, guys, have a great day. I hope it was useful and hope to see you one day back again. Bye-bye.